Welcome to the Oribooks, where the transformative power of storytelling comes to life through audiobooks. Here, you'll discover thought-provoking narratives that delve deep into the human experience, inviting you to reflect, learn, and grow. Each story we share is more than just a tale. It's an opportunity to explore profound insights that can inspire and guide you through life's journey. Join us as we embark on a path of discovery, meaning, and personal transformation, one audiobook at a time. Introduction: The Quest for Meaning Amid Life's Challenges. In every corner of the world, people are in search of something greater than mere survival, a deeper sense of purpose that transcends the mundane rhythms of daily life. This quest for meaning is as old as humanity itself, driven by a longing to understand why we are here and what we are meant to achieve. Life's challenges, however, often push us to confront these questions more urgently. When the world seems to crumble around us, whether through personal loss, suffering, or existential doubt, we are forced to question what truly matters. It is in the face of adversity that the pursuit of meaning becomes not just a desire, but a necessity. When stripped of superficial distractions, the mind is left with the profound question: what is the point of it all? It is in these moments, when we feel most vulnerable, that we are given the rare opportunity to discover what we stand for and what we live for. This exploration is not for the faint of heart. Discovering meaning in life is not a passive journey. It is one that demands resilience, introspection, and an unwavering commitment to understanding. And yet, it is this very process that provides the foundation for a fulfilling and enduring life. Meaning becomes the lens through which we view every hardship, transforming pain into purpose and uncertainty into clarity. As we move through this book, you will be guided through a process of self-discovery, uncovering the three pillars of meaning that anchor us in times of turmoil: work, love, and courage in the face of suffering. You will learn that suffering is not an obstacle to meaning, but a gateway, offering lessons that can shape and refine the spirit. Perspective, too, plays a vital role in our journey. How we choose to view our experiences often dictates the meaning we derive from them. Ultimately, the search for meaning is an individual pursuit, but it is not one to be undertaken alone. The connections we forge with others, the bonds of love, community, and shared purpose, serve as guiding lights in times of darkness. This is not just a path to understanding life's challenges, but a call to create a life of authenticity, courage, and connection. The answers to life's most pressing questions are not out there somewhere, waiting to be found. They lie within, ready to be uncovered through mindful reflection and intentional action. Through the lessons that follow, you will be empowered to confront the inevitable challenges of life, not with fear or resignation, but with an open heart and a resilient spirit, knowing that the search for meaning is the very essence of being human. Chapter 1: The Human Search for Meaning. The search for meaning is woven into the very fabric of our existence. It is not merely a philosophical pursuit, but a fundamental need, driving everything we do, every decision we make. For humans, meaning serves as the compass that directs us through the tumultuous seas of life. It provides context, structure, and purpose in the face of chaos. Without it, we would drift aimlessly, caught in the currents of routine, circumstance, and fleeting pleasures, never questioning whether our efforts matter. Why does meaning matter? At its core, meaning is the anchor that grounds us, especially when the storms of life threaten to overwhelm us. It transforms suffering into a powerful force for growth, a tool for self-refinement, and a source of profound resilience. People who find meaning even in hardship are often the ones who endure and thrive. It is no surprise that those who can attribute significance to their struggles are better equipped to face the inevitable challenges that life brings. This sense of meaning not only nurtures mental well-being, but also fortifies the spirit, providing strength in adversity. But meaning is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It is deeply personal, a reflection of individual values, beliefs, and experiences. What is meaningful to one person might seem trivial to another. However, regardless of its form, meaning serves as a constant force, reminding us of our potential and our capacity to make a difference, whether it's in our own lives or in the lives of others. In times of despair, it is the knowledge that we are part of something larger than ourselves that allows us to keep moving forward, step by step, even when the path is unclear. The quest for meaning can be distilled into three primary sources that have guided humanity through centuries: work, love, and courage in the face of suffering. These three pillars do not simply represent external achievements or fleeting emotions. They are the wellsprings from which we draw our sense of purpose and significance. 1. Work. Work, in its highest form, is not just about earning a living or fulfilling a role. It is about aligning one's skills, passions, and values with a greater cause, creating something that transcends the individual self. Meaningful work often involves contributing to a community, making an impact, or bringing forth something that adds value to the world. It is through our work that we express our talents and make our mark on the world, but it is also through work that we find a sense of identity and belonging. When work is infused with meaning, it becomes more than just a task. It becomes a calling. The satisfaction derived from contributing to something larger than ourselves can turn even the most mundane of tasks into acts of significance. 2. Love. Love, perhaps the most profound of the three sources of meaning, is not confined to romantic relationships. It encompasses our capacity for connection, empathy, and compassion. The love we give and receive from others shapes our understanding of the world and our place in it. It teaches us about vulnerability, sacrifice, and selflessness, drawing us out of our own limitations and into the shared experience of being human. It is through love that we encounter the depths of our own soul and the souls of others. And in these encounters, we find the courage to be our truest selves. Love connects us to others in ways that make us feel understood, validated, and supported. And it is in these connections that we derive much of our sense of meaning. 3. Courage in the face of suffering. Perhaps the most paradoxical of the three sources, suffering often appears to be the antithesis of meaning. Yet, it is precisely through confronting and enduring suffering that we uncover some of life's most profound insights. Courage in the face of suffering does not imply a denial of pain or hardship. Rather, it is the ability to endure with dignity and purpose, to transform suffering into a source of growth and self-understanding. The experience of overcoming adversity not only deepens our capacity for empathy, but also reveals the true extent of our inner strength. When we face suffering with courage, it becomes a means to refine our character, sharpen our resilience, and expand our ability to appreciate life's fleeting moments of beauty and grace. These three sources of meaning, work, love, and courage in the face of suffering, are not isolated or static. They are dynamic, interwoven forces that shape and redefine one another throughout our lives. A deep, authentic connection to these sources allows us to weather life's storms with greater ease and find purpose even in the most unlikely of places. The challenge, then, is not in searching for meaning, but in recognizing and embracing the sources that are already within us, waiting to be tapped into. Chapter 2. Suffering as a gateway to meaning. Suffering is an inevitable part of the human condition. No one is exempt from its grip. At some point, we will all experience pain, loss, and hardship in ways that shake us to our core. In many respects, suffering challenges our very sense of who we are, causing us to question the world, our purpose, and the meaning of life itself. Yet paradoxically, suffering also holds the key to some of life's deepest lessons, and in its midst, we may discover sources of strength, wisdom, and growth that we never thought possible. Suffering, when approached with the right mindset, has the potential to transform us. It can serve as a crucible, refining our character, stripping away the superficial layers of ego and self-importance, and revealing a deeper, more authentic self. It is often in our moments of greatest vulnerability that we are forced to confront our true essence, our values, and what truly matters. What once seemed important, the distractions, the small grievances, the fleeting desires, suddenly fall away, leaving us with a stark awareness of the present moment. This confrontation with suffering, however, is not easy. It requires us to lean into discomfort, to face our fears, and to sit with our pain without rushing to escape it. For most, the instinct is to avoid or numb suffering, to deny its presence, or to find quick fixes that provide temporary relief. Yet, it is only by fully experiencing suffering that we can transcend it. Like a wound that heals only after it is properly tended to, suffering asks us to fully engage with it, to understand its nature, and to integrate the lessons it offers. In this process, we begin to realize that suffering is not simply something that happens to us. It is something that we experience and respond to. How we respond to suffering shapes the meaning we derive from it. While pain is inevitable, suffering is not necessarily a given. It is a choice, one that we make each time we choose to confront or avoid our pain, each time we decide whether to learn from it or let it overwhelm us. It is through this lens that suffering becomes a powerful catalyst for growth. It can teach us humility, resilience, and compassion, turning us into individuals who are not only better equipped to navigate our own challenges, but who are also able to extend empathy and understanding to others who are suffering. It is in our darkest moments that we often discover our deepest strengths and uncover a profound sense of purpose that can only be born from adversity. Pain, like suffering, is something that we all experience at one point or another. But pain, unlike suffering, is not inherently meaningful. It is simply a feeling, an indication that something is wrong. Yet, if we allow ourselves to delve deeper, we realize that pain can be a doorway, a starting point from which we can craft purpose and meaning. The transformative power of pain lies not in its existence, but in how we choose to respond to it. The first step in transforming pain into purpose is acceptance. This is not resignation or passivity, but a conscious decision to acknowledge pain as a natural part of life. In doing so, we cease fighting against it, which only prolongs the suffering. Acceptance allows us to fully experience the pain, to see it for what it is, and in turn, to begin the process of healing. It is through this acceptance that we begin to uncover what lies beneath the surface of our pain, whether it is a call to change, an invitation to grow, or a reminder to realign with our values. Once we have accepted the reality of our pain, the next step is to ask ourselves how we can transform it. This requires a shift in perspective, a conscious decision to view pain not as something that diminishes us, but as something that enhances our lives by giving us the opportunity to create meaning. This is where purpose enters the picture. We can use our pain as the foundation for something greater than ourselves. Whether it is channeling our suffering into helping others, using it as motivation to live more authentically, or turning it into a source of creative expression, the possibilities for transforming pain are endless. One of the most profound ways to transform pain into purpose is through service. Many people who have faced great adversity have used their experiences to help others who are suffering in similar ways. By sharing our stories, offering support, or advocating for those who are struggling, we give our pain a deeper significance. It is through this process that our own healing becomes intertwined with the healing of others, creating a powerful cycle of growth and meaning. Another way to transform pain into purpose is through self-reflection. Pain often forces us to ask difficult questions. What is this pain teaching me? What can I learn from this experience? By reflecting on the deeper lessons embedded within our pain, we begin to understand its purpose. It is through this introspection that we can emerge from suffering not only with greater wisdom, but with a renewed sense of direction. Finally, we can transform pain into purpose by cultivating gratitude. This may seem counterintuitive, especially when the pain feels overwhelming, But gratitude has the power to shift our focus from what is lacking to what is present. In moments of pain, if we can pause to appreciate the small things, our health, the support of others, the beauty of the world around us, we create space for meaning to emerge. Gratitude turns suffering into a teacher, helping us uncover what truly matters in life. Ultimately, the power to transform pain into purpose lies within each of us. It is not something that can be done overnight, nor is it a linear process. But with patience, courage, and a willingness to engage deeply with our pain, we can find meaning even in the darkest of times. And in doing so, we create lives that are not defined by our suffering, but by the meaning we choose to derive from it. Chapter 3. Freedom of choice in any circumstance. In the face of life's challenges, there is one thing that remains fully within our control: our attitude. No matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, how we respond is always a matter of choice. This may seem like a simplistic statement, yet it holds profound implications. We are often conditioned to believe that our happiness, our peace of mind, or our sense of meaning depends on external factors: success, relationships, health, or even the approval of others. However, true freedom lies not in the external world, but in our internal world. Our attitude toward life determines the quality of our experience, irrespective of what is happening around us. The power of attitude becomes especially apparent in times of hardship. When faced with adversity, we are confronted with a choice: to view the situation as a burden or as an opportunity for growth. This choice is not about denying pain or pretending that suffering doesn't exist. It is about how we approach that suffering, how we interpret it, and how we allow it to shape us. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. This space refers to as the sacred pause between what happens to us and how we choose to react. It is within this pause that we find our freedom. We cannot always control the events that unfold in our lives, but we can control how we respond to them. We can choose to face adversity with courage, to embrace challenges with curiosity, or to see them as opportunities to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Attitude is not just about how we react to suffering, it also influences how we approach life as a whole. A positive attitude doesn't mean looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, but rather adopting a mindset that seeks solutions rather than dwelling on problems. It is the recognition that, regardless of external conditions, we have the ability to find meaning, joy, and purpose in every moment. In this sense, our attitude is the lens through which we interpret life, and by adjusting that lens, we can shift our entire experience. While it is easy to feel powerless in the face of overwhelming challenges, it is through the cultivation of a resilient attitude that we realize the true extent of our inner strength. This power of choice enables us to reclaim our autonomy and to find peace amidst chaos. The more we practice this mindset, the more natural it becomes to approach life with a sense of agency, no matter the circumstances. Freedom, however, is not a free pass to escape the challenges of life. In fact, with freedom comes responsibility. The very freedom that allows us to choose our responses to life's trials also places the onus of accountability squarely on our shoulders. We are responsible not only for how we react, but also for how we shape our lives moving forward. This responsibility, while liberating, can also be daunting. It means acknowledging that we are the creators of our experience, that we have the power to shape our futures through our decisions. Freedom is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it gives us the ability to transcend external circumstances, to rise above limitations, and to chart our own course. On the other hand, it calls us to take ownership of our lives and our choices. It is easy to blame external forces, society, fate, other people, when things go wrong. It is far more difficult, yet far more empowering, to recognize that we have contributed, in some way, to the conditions we now face. Freedom compels us to take responsibility for our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions. This responsibility does not mean carrying the burden of guilt or shame, but rather recognizing that we are active participants in our own lives. We are not passive victims of circumstance, but conscious creators of our reality. The power to choose is not just about responding to life's challenges. It is about designing a life that aligns with our values, our passions, and our purpose. We are responsible for the direction we take and the meaning we attribute to our experiences. With this responsibility comes a deeper understanding of our role in the larger tapestry of life. Our choices ripple outward, affecting not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. When we choose to act with integrity, compassion, and purpose, we inspire others to do the same. Freedom, when exercised with responsibility, becomes a force for collective growth and positive change. It is the understanding that our individual actions matter, that the way we choose to live reverberates throughout the world, and that each decision we make has the potential to create a lasting impact. Living with responsibility also means acknowledging our limitations. While we have the freedom to choose, we do not have absolute control over every aspect of life. There will be moments when we face circumstances beyond our control, illness, loss, or injustice. In such times, the responsibility of freedom is not about forcing an outcome, but about responding to the situation with grace, dignity, and acceptance. It is about recognizing that our freedom lies in how we meet life's inevitable challenges, not in avoiding them. Ultimately, the responsibility of freedom asks us to align our choices with our deeper values, to be mindful of the impact of our actions, and to take ownership of our path. It calls us to live intentionally, to make decisions that reflect who we truly are, and to trust that, no matter what external forces we may face, our choices will define the quality and meaning of our lives. In this way, freedom and responsibility are intertwined. The more we embrace both, the more empowered we become. It is not enough to simply choose. We must choose wisely, with awareness and intention. And in doing so, we unlock the full potential of our lives, creating not only personal meaning, but also contributing to the collective meaning of the world around us. Chapter 4. The Role of Perspective in Discovering Meaning. Life, in its unpredictable nature, presents us with challenges that often seem insurmountable. From personal losses to professional setbacks, the obstacles we face can sometimes feel overwhelming, leaving us feeling powerless and adrift. Yet, in the midst of these trials, there exists a profound opportunity for transformation, and that opportunity begins with one simple but powerful tool: perspective. Perspective is the lens through which we view the world, and more importantly, the circumstances that life throws our way. How we interpret and respond to challenges determines whether they become roadblocks or stepping stones on our journey toward meaning. When faced with adversity, we can choose to see ourselves as victims of fate, trapped by circumstances, or we can reframe the situation as a catalyst for growth, a lesson waiting to be learned. The ability to reframe is not about denying the reality of suffering or pretending that pain doesn't exist. Rather, it is about shifting our focus from the external event to our internal response. It is about understanding that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we have the power to control how we perceive and react to those events. In fact, it is often through this reframing that we discover hidden strengths, latent potential, and a deeper sense of purpose. For example, the story of a person who loses their job. At first glance, this may seem like a devastating blow, an external event that threatens stability and security. But through the lens of reframing, it can become an opportunity for reinvention, a chance to pursue a passion, or a moment to reflect on deeper values and desires. Rather than seeing it as an end, the loss of a job can be viewed as the beginning of something new, a stepping stone on the path to a more authentic and meaningful life. The same principle applies to personal challenges, such as illness or loss. While these experiences can be painful and disorienting, they also offer a unique opportunity to reflect on what truly matters. Illness, for example, may force us to slow down, to reprioritize, and to examine how we've been living our lives. It can serve as a reminder to cherish our bodies, to appreciate the present moment, and to deepen our connections with others. In this way, suffering can become a teacher, helping us to reconnect with our deepest values and to realign our lives with greater purpose. Reframing challenges is a skill that requires practice and mindfulness. It involves cultivating the ability to step back from the intensity of an experience and to look at it from a broader perspective. In doing so, we gain insight into the bigger picture, allowing us to see that even the most difficult circumstances can contribute to our growth, transformation, and the discovery of meaning. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have in our quest for meaning. It is easy, in times of hardship, to focus solely on what we lack, on the things that have been taken from us or the challenges that lie ahead. Yet, it is precisely in these moments of loss and struggle that the practice of gratitude can shift our perspective and illuminate new paths forward. Gratitude is not merely about feeling thankful for the good things in our lives. It is about cultivating an attitude of appreciation for the entirety of our experience. It is the recognition that, in every moment, there is something to be grateful for, even amidst pain or difficulty. Gratitude allows us to find meaning in the smallest of moments and to see beauty where others might see only suffering. In the midst of hardship, gratitude invites us to pause and reflect on what is still present, what has not been taken away. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, from loss to appreciation. For example, when faced with a challenging situation, such as a difficult relationship or a financial setback, gratitude helps us to remember the strengths we still have, the lessons we've learned, and the support systems that remain. It reminds us that even in times of loss, there is still much to be thankful for. One of the most profound ways that gratitude enhances meaning is through its ability to transform our perspective on suffering. Rather than seeing pain as a purely negative experience, gratitude allows us to see it as a part of the greater tapestry of life. We may not be able to change the fact that we are experiencing hardship, but we can choose to appreciate the lessons it offers, the growth it fosters, and the insights it provides. Gratitude, in this sense, is not just a response to the pleasant aspects of life. It is a way of seeing the world as a whole, embracing both the light and the dark with equal reverence. Moreover, gratitude helps us to cultivate a deeper connection with others. When we express appreciation for the people in our lives, whether it is through small acts of kindness, words of encouragement, or simple acknowledgments, we deepen our relationships and create an environment where meaning can flourish. Gratitude fosters empathy, compassion, and a sense of interconnectedness, reminding us that we are not isolated in our struggles, but part of a shared human experience. The act of practicing gratitude does not require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It is a simple, everyday practice that can be integrated into our lives in small but powerful ways. By starting each day with a moment of gratitude, whether it is for the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, or the opportunities ahead, we begin to shift our focus from what is wrong to what is right. In doing so, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of life's meaning and a more profound appreciation for the gift of being alive. Gratitude is the antidote to the scarcity mindset that often clouds our view of the world. When we adopt an attitude of gratitude, we begin to see the abundance that already exists in our lives. We recognize that meaning is not something we need to search for endlessly, but something that we can cultivate in every moment, through the simple act of appreciating what we already have. Together, reframing challenges and cultivating gratitude serve as two of the most powerful tools in discovering meaning. By changing our perspective and learning to appreciate both the highs and lows of life, we unlock the potential for deeper fulfillment and growth. Life's challenges, rather than being obstacles, become opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to connect, and to find meaning in even the most difficult of circumstances. It is through this shift in perspective that we begin to realize that life's meaning is not something to be found outside of ourselves, but something to be created through how we choose to see and respond to the world around us. Chapter 5. Building a Life of Purpose. The pursuit of meaning is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a call to live authentically, to align one's actions with one's deepest values, beliefs, and desires. In a world that often encourages conformity, the path toward a meaningful life requires a courageous commitment to being true to oneself. Authenticity is not simply about presenting a version of ourselves that others find acceptable or admirable. It is about shedding the masks we wear to protect ourselves from judgment and allowing our true essence to shine through. Living authentically begins with self-awareness. It requires us to look inward and ask fundamental questions. Who am I, beyond the labels and roles that society places upon me? What do I truly value, and how can I align my choices with those values? It means being honest with ourselves about what we want and what we need, even if those desires differ from societal expectations or the paths that others have chosen. In a world that often promotes success in terms of external achievements, money, status, recognition, authenticity challenges us to redefine success. True success, from an authentic standpoint, is not about accumulation, but about alignment. It is the alignment between who we are on the inside and how we show up in the world. This kind of success is not fleeting or conditional on external validation, but enduring and rooted in a deep sense of self-acceptance and integrity. Living authentically also requires the courage to embrace vulnerability. To be authentic is to expose the raw, unpolished aspects of ourselves, the fears, the insecurities, the imperfections. In a culture that often values perfection and achievement, this can feel risky. But authenticity is not about being flawless. It is about embracing our flaws and being at peace with our human imperfections. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same, creating deeper, more meaningful connections. This courage to be authentic also involves letting go of the need for approval from others. We may fear rejection or criticism, but true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with our own values, not in pursuit of external validation. In this sense, authenticity is a radical act of self-love and self-respect. It is a decision to prioritize our inner truth over the opinions and judgments of the outside world. Living authentically is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-discovery and alignment. It is about taking consistent steps, no matter how small, toward a life that feels true to who we are. And as we align our actions with our core beliefs, we begin to experience a deeper sense of meaning and satisfaction, because we are no longer living for others or for societal expectations, but for ourselves. While living authentically is a deeply personal journey, it is not a solitary one. One of the most powerful sources of meaning comes from the relationships and connections we build with others. The importance of community cannot be overstated. It is through the people we surround ourselves with that we often find the courage to be authentic, the strength to persevere, and the support to grow. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and our need for connection is as fundamental as any other. In the context of building a life of purpose, community serves as both a mirror and a foundation. It reflects back to us the value we offer and reminds us of our shared humanity. It is in community that we are often reminded of the broader picture, that our individual struggles are part of a collective journey toward growth and understanding. However, building a meaningful community requires intentionality. It is not enough to simply surround ourselves with people. We must cultivate relationships that are nourishing, supportive, and authentic. These relationships are based not on convenience or superficial commonalities, but on shared values, mutual respect, and a genuine desire to contribute to each other's well-being. In this sense, community becomes a space where we can grow, not just individually, but together. The relationships that nurture our sense of purpose are not just those we maintain with family or friends, but also those we form through work, shared interests, and even service to others. Every connection has the potential to offer meaning if we approach it with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to be vulnerable. When we connect with others from a place of authenticity, we create a network of support and understanding that empowers us to live a life of purpose. Moreover, the importance of community extends beyond individual connections to the larger collective. When we recognize that our lives are interconnected, that our actions affect others, and that we are part of a larger whole, we begin to see the role we play in shaping the world around us. Community is not just about what we receive, but also what we give. By contributing to the well-being of others through acts of kindness, sharing knowledge, offering support, we create a sense of meaning that transcends the individual and touches the collective. A meaningful community is one that encourages each individual to grow, but also challenges them to become the best version of themselves. It is a space where vulnerability is met with empathy, where differences are respected, and where the pursuit of individual meaning is supported by the collective energy of the group. In this sense, community becomes a fertile ground for purpose to blossom. As we build relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and authenticity, we begin to realize that our personal journey toward meaning is not separate from the journeys of others. In fact, our lives are woven together in a complex tapestry of experiences, each thread contributing to the beauty of the whole. By investing in meaningful relationships, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to the larger tapestry of human experience, creating a world where purpose, love, and connection are at the forefront. The interplay between authenticity and community is where true meaning emerges. Authenticity helps us to know ourselves and to live in alignment with our deepest values, while community offers the support and encouragement needed to manifest that authenticity in the world. It is through this dynamic that we build lives of true purpose, not through isolated self-discovery, but through connection with others who share our vision and who challenge us to grow. As we learn to live authentically, we begin to seek out communities that resonate with our values and that provide the space for us to show up as our true selves. These communities become not just a source of support, but a reflection of the meaning we are striving to create in our own lives. And in turn, our authenticity strengthens the community, contributing to the collective growth and shared purpose of all its members. Ultimately, building a life of purpose is an act of integration, integrating who we are with the people around us, the values we hold dear with the world we inhabit. It is through this integration that we find the deepest sense of meaning, as we learn to live authentically within a community that nurtures our growth, challenges our assumptions, and supports our journey toward becoming our best selves. The combination of authenticity and community is the foundation of a purposeful life, one that is not only deeply fulfilling, but also profoundly connected to the greater whole of human existence. Conclusion. In the end, the search for meaning is not a linear path, but a profound and ongoing journey. A journey that invites us to dig deeper, to look inward, and to explore the essence of who we are. Life, with its myriad challenges and uncertainties, does not offer easy answers or simple solutions. Yet, it is within this very complexity, within the tension of suffering and joy, struggle and triumph, that meaning is born. We have explored how meaning is not something that is handed to us or found in the external world, but something that we must actively create within ourselves. It is a process of discovery, shaped not by circumstances, but by our response to those circumstances. Life's meaning is found in how we approach suffering, how we choose our attitudes, and how we frame the challenges we face. It is found in our capacity to make choices that align with our deepest values, and in our willingness to live authentically, even in the face of adversity. The power of perspective cannot be overstated. The ability to reframe challenges, to see them not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth, is essential to unlocking a deeper sense of meaning. It is through the act of gratitude, finding appreciation in the simplest moments, that we realize that meaning is not a distant goal to be reached, but a lens through which we view every experience. By adopting a mindset of gratitude, we begin to see the beauty and purpose in the mundane, and even in the darkest moments, we discover the light that guides us forward. And yet, meaning is not an isolated pursuit. It is woven into the fabric of our relationships, our communities, and the people we share our lives with. No one walks this path alone. Our connections with others provide the support, encouragement, and challenge we need to grow, and they reflect back to us the power and potential of our own existence. Meaning is not just something we find individually. It is something we co-create with the people around us through shared experiences, mutual respect, and the willingness to grow together. Living a life of purpose requires us to consistently choose authenticity over convenience, depth over surface, and connection over isolation. It requires us to stay true to who we are, even when the world around us encourages us to conform. And it asks us to acknowledge that our journey is not just about achieving personal success or finding happiness in material wealth, but about creating meaning, by making choices that reflect our deepest values, by showing up fully for ourselves and others, and by embracing both the challenges and joys of the human experience. As we reflect on the message of this book, it becomes clear that meaning is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, a journey that requires courage, introspection, and commitment. It is a journey that, while personal, is deeply intertwined with the lives of others. In every challenge we face, in every relationship we build, in every decision we make, we have the opportunity to create meaning. It is important to remember that life's meaning is not fixed or predetermined. It is fluid, evolving, and uniquely personal. Just as we are constantly changing and growing, so too is our understanding of meaning. There may be times when the road ahead feels uncertain, when the purpose we seek seems distant or out of reach. But even in these moments, we are asked to trust the process, to believe that every step we take, no matter how small, is leading us closer to the truth of who we are and the purpose we are meant to fulfill. In the final analysis, meaning is not something to be found in the abstract, nor is it a set of fixed beliefs or formulas. It is a living, breathing part of who we are, and it emerges from the ways in which we engage with life. It is found in the way we respond to suffering, the choices we make, the relationships we nurture, and the perspectives we cultivate. It is an ongoing practice, one that asks us to continually question, to seek, and to reflect. The beauty of the human experience is that meaning is available to us all, at every moment, no matter our circumstances. The quest for meaning is not reserved for the few or the fortunate, but is the birthright of every human being. It is within our capacity to find significance in even the most mundane moments, to recognize the potential for growth in every hardship, and to create purpose through our actions, our choices, and our relationships. As you walk the path of your own journey toward meaning, may you find the courage to live authentically, the strength to persevere through suffering, and the wisdom to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. May you always approach life with a mindset of gratitude, knowing that meaning is not something that exists outside of you, but something you create, moment by moment, through the choices you make and the life you choose to live. The search for meaning is not a quest for answers. It is a commitment to live with purpose, to be present, and to embrace the beautiful complexity of existence. And in that commitment, we find not just meaning, but fulfillment, connection, and the true richness of life.